Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to support this statement by Senator Mbito. This, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the reason why we're in this House. We have to look at our country, we look at the challenges that we face, and we try to advise the executive on where they should be able to put more money. I was listening to the technical details which were given by Dr. or Professor Ongeri, and it just took me back to the campaign period when I was campaigning in a place called Mpurputia in Loita Forest. And there, many people died because of kidney failure. At that time, I asked myself, when will these people ever get to a renal center where they can be able to get the renal therapy so that it can be able to remove the excessive? And it's all because of the lifestyle. The kind of water that these people drink, it's a myriad of many issues that is affecting. And this is why when we stand here, my dear brothers and sisters, it is imperative for us to remind the government that leaving or giving the Ministry of Health money equivalent to 5 counties for them to develop policy will not help this country. Now, we can be able, if I was listening carefully to what Senator Mbito was saying, it appears as if NHIF is paying more money now in terms of treating for dialysis than ever before. And that is solely because there are more renal centers in the country. People are now going there and they are being diagnosed, and they find that they have excessive fluids or waste in their kidneys and they have to be treated, or they have to go through this renal therapy. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is about time that the national government listen, the executive listens, Treasury listens. When you're talking about budgets, when you're talking about sending money, it might be good, yes, to send money in terms of conditional grants, but I don't see why or any reason as to why we should not have 2 or 3 renal centers in counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is this debates of revenue share, and when people talk about how they can be allocated money, Mr. Speaker, sir, others are saying allocate money based on distance to service, not on the land. But if you ask yourself, Narok County, which is 17,000 square kilometers, someone in Loita, Mpurputia Forest, which is the border of Kenya and Tanzania, by the time they drive all the way to Narok town, for them to be able to go to and get renal therapy, they could have succumbed. We already know that the lifespan of a person going through renal therapy or dialysis is between 5 and 10 years. That is in developed world. But in this case, Mr. Speaker, sir, in this country, and I hope that when the national government is formulating the budget this year, they can really come up with programs that can be able to help, diagnose people at early stages, go to those rural areas, engage companies that, have these renal centers, and also work with county governments. Devolution is very, very important. Devolution came in to help us be able to solve this problem. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I looked at the statistics out there, when they say that about 3,100 people died of kidney failures, an average of about 3,100 every year from 2014, I say those numbers are low. Those numbers are only 3,100 because those are the ones who were diagnosed. Those are the ones who could be able to get to the service. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support this. And I think today is a World Kidney Day. It is important that we push and we encourage the government to invest more on renal centers across the country. Because the ones which are there, particularly the one which is in Narok, seems to be doing a very good job. We want to see more. At least in every county, if we have 2 or 3, then we can actually be able to say we are going to achieve universal health care. Because if we are only focusing on saying we want to build institutions, equip those institutions, invest in making sure that people have better lifestyles, although maybe men, because of our lifestyles, we are the ones who suffer in a lot of kidney failures, but also women in this country, if they don't have access to clean water, a clean environment, they may end up suffering the same way. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support.